I'm Gary Pace, the Public Health Officer in Lake County. It's May 15th, and what we're going to do today is give the Lake County Business Reopening Plan update. The idea is we want to give some guidance here on how to open the businesses in this new era of change and moving out of the full shelter-in-place order. So what I'm going to do is give a quick review of what we're going to cover here. First, talk about the stages of reopening and where we are. The second is public health's expectations of businesses before they reopen. And third is a brief update on the county's plan to apply for a variance to reopen faster than the other parts of the state. So first, the review of the 4 stages of reopening. Basically, the governor has set out 4 stages for reopening. The first stage was what we've just moved out of, which was really trying to stabilize things and prepare for the next step. We just moved into stage 2 last week, and now all the state moved into stage 2 together. But now he's allowed us to move through stage 2 at different rates in different counties depending on your situation. So we are in the process of applying for a variance that allows us to move through more quickly. And that's a lot of what we're going to be talking about today, is some of the pieces that the businesses need to put into place in order to be able to open safely. I think a really important part of this is that businesses have to be permitted to open under stage 2. We do not have the ability to open businesses that fall into stage 3 and stage 4, and there's a fairly restricted list of what's actually allowed to open under stage 2. Then stage 3 is higher risk businesses able to open, and stage 4 is getting back to normal. We don't know what the timeline is for these other stages. The governor's not been very forthcoming about that. I would suspect it's at least a couple weeks to a couple months before we can move into stage 3, but a lot depends on the activity of the virus and how the openings go throughout the state. So the expectation of the county for the businesses that are allowed to reopen, this is a kind of a complicated thing, and it's changing all the time, and it's the main bulk of what we wanted to do in the video today. There is a link at the health department website, and there's a bunch of forms on there, and so that's the best place to go. I think we're going to give you that information here in the video as well. So there's a social distancing protocol that's a checklist, and you can use that as a guide. Basically, what we're going to do is have each business self-certify that they're going to keep people safe. The idea is we're trying to have the businesses open in a way that keeps their workers and the public safe and slows down the transmission of the virus. The main way to do that is through social distancing and wearing facial cloth coverings. We can call them face masks, but it's not the surgical face mask, it's cloth coverings. And also doing proper disinfecting. So there's a lot of information on the web at the CDC, the Center for Disease Control website, but the Lake County Health Department website has a lot of this information that you'll be able to get. So some of the forms that the businesses will need to fill out is a social distancing protocol and the self-certification form. What we're going to do is ask each business to go through, come up with a plan on how they're going to keep people safe, follow the guidelines on the forms, and then post those at the entryway to their business for where people are coming in. You don't need to apply to the county now. At one point a few weeks ago we were talking about that, but that's changed now. And so all you need to do is post it at the doorway. We will have inspectors that are available if we start getting complaints from the public, but the idea is we're not really planning on coming out and inspecting everybody to see what you're doing. We're hoping the businesses are interested in doing everything they can to keep the public safe. So there's going to be the social distancing protocol, which is a checklist, and you can go through that. There's a couple examples of those in some of the appendixes to this document and on the video. We strongly encourage businesses to use this checklist as a guide and to review the industry standards as well. A lot of the industry groups are publishing guidelines specifically designed for your business and customer types. So we really encourage you to use that expertise. People have spent a lot of time and effort thinking through this on how to open safely and keep people out of trouble. So there's also this self-certification form. This is a way to for you to look at the protocols and train your employees on how to stick with the protocols, especially around social distancing and disinfection. Masking is going to be part of this. We're going to require masking of workers and patrons coming into the businesses, and that's going to be part of the responsibility of the business owner to keep that going. So we don't want to have big confrontations. That's not the point of this. The point is, though, is that sort of like you require people to wear shoes and shirts when they come into your business, we request that you now do that with masks as well. Because clearly masks are keeping people safer. They don't necessarily keep the wearer safer, but they do protect the other people in the area if the wearer is in the phase of with the virus but not symptomatic yet. So overall, it definitely slows the transmission through a community when people are wearing masks, and so we're going to require it now inside the businesses, inside the stores, but not outside. One of the things we also want to encourage is to set clear expectations with employees about what to do if they feel ill or if someone in their household becomes sick. People need to not come into work when they're sick. You don't want them coming in and spreading this virus to all the customers that you have during that day. That's going to be really a bad thing for the community, a bad thing for your business. So you have to get clear lines of communication. Who do they contact? Do they get sick time? All these kinds of things will be part of the process of planning. You know, all employees need to understand social distancing expectations and have access to the PPE, the personal protective equipment, masks, gloves, and cleaning supplies that they need. Like if every desk needs a hand sanitizer, if the bathrooms need spray disinfectant, do you have access to all that? Do you have the supplies you need? There's some physical rearranging that oftentimes needs to happen. Sometimes you need to move the workstations or traffic patterns within the business to maintain the required social distancing. What's been done in the past with a lot of people in a large open area is not going to be really the way to go into the future. There's going to need to be 6 feet between people and wearing facial coverings. So configuring the workspace is going to be a really important part of keeping people safe. Some places are using plexiglass in between workers, or you may just need to have fewer workers coming in at a time. Try juggle the shifts. There's different ways to do this. Again, there's a lot of information out there on how to think through that. And if you have questions, you can contact your peers in the community or check in with public health and we can see if we can connect you with somebody. So after the plans are in place, post the social distancing protocol and the self-certification at your business entrance and keep your plan handy in case the public would like to see it or review it. So we're really encouraging kind of a discussion and feedback with the public. A lot of people are saying they want to go to places where they feel safe. So we're thinking that the market is going to have some impact on if people are choosing not to really enforce these social distancing and the masking thing in their business. I've heard a lot of feedback of people that go to other counties where they are requiring this. They feel safer and more comfortable in those businesses. So we encourage you to do the same here locally. So we do have some certification in place. If you bring the signed plan to the City Hall or the Chamber of Commerce nearest you to pick up this poster, it's called the We Care Pledge poster. And the Chamber of Commerce and the city leaders have put these together, and it's a really, really great thing. It looks good, and putting that up in your window hopefully is going to signify to the public that you're really taking this seriously. So you can post it in the window of the business as a reminder that the steps are being taken to keep everybody safe and healthy, in the list of the resources in the back. The Lake County EDC will also have electronic versions of this poster for businesses to include on social media and websites. So enforcement, I think I talked a little bit about that, but we're not really looking at this as enforcement. So I would think about it more in terms of compliance and helping businesses come into compliance. This is going to be more like food inspections and restaurants where they'll come out and talk with you, take a look at your plan. This is only if we have complaints, and sort of try to help the businesses get in line. If there's multiple visits and it seems pretty clear that the business isn't interested in working with us or in doing the steps to keep people safe, we probably are going to come up with some way of informing the public about that. And at some point we may have to have some kind of consequences, but we're really not interested in fines or in closing down businesses. This is a really hard time for all the business community, and we want to really support you to get open and get the economy thriving again. So the County of Lake is applying for a local variance from the state shelter-in-place order. The time frame that we're working with right now is the proposal is completed. We're sending it to the Board of Supervisors today, May 15th, and the board is going to have a emergency board meeting on Monday morning at 10 a.m. to discuss it. Once we get through all of that with all the documentation, we're going to submit it to the state. Hi, this is a quick update because we had the board meeting today. We decided to change the start date to Thursday, May 21st, as opposed to the Tuesday, May 26th to start the changes. So the first step of this will be Tuesday, May 21st. The second step will be on June 4th, 2 weeks later, if everything goes okay. The other change that was added into this was we want to open retail businesses that are permitted under stage 2 to do the curbside pickup. We want to open them up so that there can be in-store shopping by people as long as proper social distancing is in effect. So it moves things along so that you don't have to do phone ordering or online ordering and do curbside pickup. You can go into the retail stores that qualify under stage 2. Thank you. This first phase is restaurants will be able to open outdoor dining with appropriate social distancing. 2 weeks after that, indoor dining can also open with appropriate social distancing in limited numbers. The point of this is I'm trying to work in 2-week increments so that we can see if there's a rise in cases after we make big changes. Last weekend, we had the change with opening the lake. 2 weeks from now, it'll be after the, 2 weeks from next week, it'll be after the opening of the outdoor restaurants. And then 2 weeks after that, opening the indoor restaurants. One of the things I wanted to do was just kind of review a little bit about which businesses are going to be open under stage 2 and which ones won't. So here it is. So in stage 2, these are the businesses that will be able to open, and I'm looking at having this be in 2 steps. The first step would include destination retail, including shopping malls and swap meets. Personal services limited to car washes, pet grooming, tanning facilities, and landscape gardening. Office-based businesses, but telework is strongly encouraged. Dine-in restaurants are going to be in the phase 2 of this. The first step would be outdoor dining only with social distancing, but this does not include gaming areas or bars. Outdoor museums and open gallery places, government offices, and some children's activities and childcare for everybody, not just essential workers at this point. In the second part of this, we are talking about opening some day camps or some other children's activities with certain kinds of restrictions. The things that are not allowed in this are hotels and lodging for leisure and tourism, nightclubs, concert venues, festivals and theme parks, religious services and cultural ceremonies, entertainment venues including movies and gaming, personal services which include cosmetology, hair salons, barbers, hospitality such as bars and lounges, indoor museums, kid museums, gallery spaces and libraries, and community centers including public pools, playgrounds, and picnic areas. So all these are basically laid out by the governor's rules. The stage 2, we can move through that more quickly, and that's what we're setting out with this proposal. Stage 3, we'll have to wait until the governor allows us to move through to that level. So I think the overview of this as I close is that we're really excited about moving forward. We recognize that this has been very difficult for everybody in the community, and the business community has been hit particularly hard. You know, reading the figures about unemployment and about business closures and the state budget deficit is really chilling and unsettling. So we want to get moving forward as quickly as possible. The problem is that this virus is out there and it's in counties, neighboring counties now, and the more we open up, people will be coming in from other areas which are much higher risk. So we're trying to do this in a safe and methodical way so that we don't have to close things back down. There are triggers in place so that if we do start seeing more cases or if the healthcare system gets overwhelmed, we will have to put more restrictions in place or go back to a full shelter in place at some point. So I really encourage people to follow the social distancing, use the masks, keep with the disinfectant practices, and really help people to do the things that we know work to stop the transmission of this virus. And all these steps we're putting in place are ways to try to help you to do that, so to help you keep the people that come into your business safe. This is a changing landscape every day, so if there are changes, we hope to update this video or put it on the website and try to inform people as quickly as we can. We thank you for your cooperation and your patience.